Hey everyone, thanks for joining. Today we're going to be taking a look at my top picks for release note software. Now, there are a lot of options out there. However, I'm going to be taking you through the top 5 that I've shortlisted. There are a lot of alternatives. However, these are the specific ones that I come back to when I'm looking for alternative release notes software products. Now, it's important to remember your specific use case. So think about whether you are looking at targeting internal or external users, what you're looking for in a tool, and also considering different price points and use cases. Now, some of these tools are quite simple, some of them are a little bit more complex, and they will differ in terms of what you're needing depending on your organization size and your product updates. Now, jumping straight into the first one here on the list, the best probably for customer feedback and customer driven updates is a tool called Frill. Now, I quite like them. They've got a very straightforward and very lightweight option, and it's probably best for small to medium sized businesses. They've got a lot of features within the tool, actually. Um, However, it is a little bit less customizable than some of the bigger names out there. However, this shouldn't stop you if you are looking for something really brand centric and really simple and straightforward. Now, that being said, they do have a lot of features on the tool itself. Now, you can see here there's a lot of the kind of highlights in terms of what they offer. Um, in terms of the announcements themselves, they're actually unlimited on all plans, which I thought was a really great feature. So some of the other tools I've looked at do have limited options for release notes or published updates. And with this, it is not limited, which I think is really cool. Now, they've got a lot of different options here, and I would take a look at this if it's a tool that you're looking at. They do have things like idea feedback, so you can do a lot of specific settings on this tool, which I quite like. And they do have a lot of integrations, so things like Zapier, Slack, Intercom, Zendesk, Trello. You'll see a lot of these integrations available so that you can target users depending on where they are, which I really like. I think that's really cool. Um, You'll also see a lot of the new features here at the top, which is great. So for me, a really good release notes tool should have customer segmentation. So keeping in mind, if you're wanting to segment your user base, depending on where they are, what information they're needing, you do want to be able to send those targeted announcements to the specific users. So this is a tool that I quite like and a feature that's really important for me in terms of release notes software itself. And then I also do like surveys, so that's really important. So a lot of the tools that I've looked at in the past, um, they either do this really well or they don't have this kind of feature at all. So it's great to see that Frill has actually integrated that recently, and they've got multi-language support as a potential option as well. So I think that's really cool. There's a lot of different features within the tool. It is very straightforward, very lightweight, and you get a bit of an idea of their tool service offerings here in their website, and you are able to trial it out. Now, the only downside that I didn't really like when I did have a look at this plan was that you don't have direct chat support, regardless of the plan that you're on, which isn't great. So if you're a small business and you kind of don't really have someone to manage this end to end, you may find that a bit limiting because you do have to wait for your email feedback to come back to you. So not the best in terms of if you're needing immediate support. However, if you are an organization that does have um, really strong capabilities when it comes to a tool like this, it shouldn't be a problem for you. So I do like that. They do have a free trial available, so do have a look if this is something that may be within your price points. And you can see the pricing ranges from about $25 a month to $149 per month. There is a discount if you're paying annually, which is quite cool. So you get a month free, and they do have custom pricing for enterprise plans. So overall, really a really great tool to have a look at. As mentioned, I do like that you've got quite a lot of features within the tool. They do break it down on the website for you, which is quite a nice handy feature to have a look at when you are considering comparing plans. Now, let's take a look at the next tool I've got on the list here. This is Release Notes or releasenotes.io. And this is probably the best platform for really straightforward, simple, sleek updates. Now, they've got a really user-friendly interface, and if you have a look at the demo that they've got on their website, you'll get a good idea in terms of the actual look and feel of the platform itself, which I quite like. Um, they do have specific features like AI smart releases, which is really cool. So I quite like this because a lot of the time teams don't have either the know-how, the time, or the capacity maybe to generate a specifically drafted release note or changelog entry that is tailor-made for specific updates. And these are handled within the tool, which is really cool. So you are able to use the features themselves to do this for you. Now, you can also segment your user base quite easily within this, which I quite like. So here we go, we've got private or public releases. Again, this is really important for me to be able to segment that out. You may have updates or bug fixes, things like that you don't want your customer base seeing. And you do need to communicate this to internal teams, especially developers, that kind of thing. And this is really important to be able to handle that external versus internal features from going out to different audiences. So overall, really great tool. They've got a lot of different features within it. So you can have things like in-app pop-ups or banners, email notifications, that kind of thing. And they do have a full design. So if you've got specific HTML or CSS settings that you need to configure yourself, you can do that within the tool to make sure that it looks and feels like your brand, which is really great. A lot of integrations, and they do have a good mobile site, which is a very big plus for me. It must be mobile responsive, especially if you are sending out updates to customers. As mentioned, good integrations available as well, like some of the other tools, so targeting users wherever they are, and that's really important for me. Now, they do have a free plan, so this is a really big plus in my eyes. I do like this, however, it is very limited. So do keep in mind if you just have a small team, small updates that you need to make here and there, it's probably a good option for you to take a look at. And you can get started for free, so you can kind of see how it looks and feels, what the usability is like, and then scale up as your organization needs. In terms of pricing itself, I think it's really reasonable. It's one of the lower priced options that I've seen out there. It is a simple tool, so do keep in mind that if you do need something really complex with complex configurations, workflow automations, that kind of thing, you may have to look at some of the other tools. However, if you need something simple, this is a really good option for you. Now, in terms of the downsides, when I have used this in the past, I do find it a little bit laggy. Um, Hopefully that has changed, and hopefully this continues to improve as time goes on. But overall, really great tool to use. I also found that they don't have a lot of preset templates. So that is something that I do like within a tool, just so that you can get going with release notes as quickly as possible. So just keep in mind that you will have to draft a lot of things yourself. You can use the AI features, but they don't have a lot of the advanced settings that some of the other tools have. All right, then having a look at our next tool, and this one I'm going to take a little bit of a look under the hood with, is changelog. Now, this is one of the tools that I see coming up quite often, and I did give it a bit of a spin just to have a look at some of the features that changelog has. Now, again, super easy to use, really fantastic in terms of the free trial, so I would recommend giving that a bit of a whirl as well. But it's probably one of the best feature-rich release notes tools that I've used in the past. Now, they've got everything from road mapping to change logs to NPS or Net Promoter Scores. And I've even gone and configured a quick roadmap here just to kind of get an update in terms of how this looks and feels and what the options are in terms of actually using the roadmap itself. So you can see here that you can add things like upvotes or downvotes. You can easily add different posts to this roadmap, which I really like as well. And it's just really sleek. It's got a modern interface. You can get a good look at how this looks and feels with your custom branding and easily manage the roadmap in terms of the communications and release notes itself. I really like this. It was really easy to set up in terms of just getting things updated and sent out. You can see that this looks and feels really user-friendly as well. You can add things like cover images. You can add things like segmentation. So you will need to set this up just to keep in mind. Um, and you can also add linked feedback straight to the feature release itself or the announcement itself. And you can schedule updates to be published at specific times and dates, which I really like. So that's a huge plus for me in terms of the features itself. Overall, really great tool. As mentioned, they also have MPS, so you can collect ideas, feedback, and integrate that into your roadmap, which is a really great tool to have a look at. You also get an idea of what this looks like. If you go and add this, it will be automatically added to the MPS itself. So overall, really great tool. I would definitely recommend having a look at this one and just giving it a bit of a spin so that you can get an idea of the tool functionality itself. They do have basic analytics in place. I would say probably more basic than those where you are looking at analyzing things like customer engagement, for example. Um, but if you're looking at really simple analytics, it's not a bad tool to have a look at all. Now, although it's got a great roadmap, it's probably not as customizable as I'd like to see. If you are looking for a tool that can handle release notes and roadmaps, some of the other tools you're able to add different stages or different steps. This is kind of preset for you, so you're not really able to customize it as much. Um, and I did find that you do have to kind of click your way around the tool just to kind of get an idea of how this works. It did take me a little bit of configuring and clicking and learning to get an idea of where everything is. However, they do have a help desk module that's been integrated into the tool so that you can have a look at. I do like tools that have like a bit more of a guided onboarding, and that probably brings me to my next tool, which actually does have user guiding, which is really fantastic. So Launch Notes is one of those tools. It's probably best for customer facing release notes out of the ones I've seen. Really, really feature rich. They've got a lot of tools within the app itself. So here we've got like release notes, change logs, roadmaps. You've got things like feedback, widgets, integrations, everything all in one tool. So I found it really easy to use. They do have a free trial available. I would recommend having a look at this, and you can actually get an idea of the beautiful release notes that you can create with launch notes. I do like this. There's a lot of configuration available within the tool itself, right down to even the change logs, which you can customize. You can add different labels. You can add different user segments and manage this really easily so that it's handled within the app um, beautifully easily as well. A lot of integrations available. So you are able just to publish to a number of channels super easily within the tool. You also have things like publishing permissions, which is one of the few tools I've seen this available within. Um, Able to add things like categories specific to perhaps environments that you're working on or perhaps products that you're releasing. So overall, really, really easy to use. And they've got an AI writing assistant. So I quite like this as well, that you're able to go and input your content. Your AI assistant's able then just to write out a release note or prompt for you really easily within the tool. Now, that being said, one of the other tools that I do like within the release notes itself, especially if you are targeting specific customer bases, is that you're able to publish a number of feedback or updates within a digest, which is actually a group of announcements. These can be configured to go out to different users and different environments, as well as different cohorts. So really, really advanced in terms of the capabilities here. So user segmentation is quite advanced within the tool. Um, Launch Notes is probably one of the ones I've seen that does it to this extent. So if you're looking at something specific in terms of user updates and segmentation, cohorts, even publishing to users that are not subscribed, you can actually target those specific users as a cohort, which is fantastic. So again, one of the tools that I've seen do this to quite a customizable extent. Now, overall, the pricing can be a bit steep, so that's one of the downsides to launch notes. Is if you're a small organization, it can be on a little bit of the pricey side. However, you are able to get a wide range of features within the tool, as mentioned, things like customer feedback, roadmaps, advanced features within the announcements tab, or within the tool. They do offer premium and custom pricing for users that do need a lot more in terms of customizability, and things like that. So they do have two different pricing options. However, I would recommend having a look at these really advanced pricing plans to get an idea of all the features within the tool, get an idea of if this is going to be the right kind of fit for your organization. But overall, I do like this because you've got a lot of features within the lower tier, and it's unlikely that you'll need to scale up until your organization is really needing complex functionalities within the app itself. Overall, really great. The support is also fantastic. So they do have options like chat support on the higher tiers, but overall, really easy to use. I would recommend going and starting the free trial if you're not sure, and get an idea of the fantastic usability within the app itself. Taking a look at our next tool, Olvi. Now, this is one of those tools that I didn't expect pack such a punch in terms of a lightweight solution. They've also got a free plan available. So in terms of what I was expecting to see and get a bit of an insight into, they actually pack quite a big punch in terms of the functionalities. Now, it's got things like easy user feedback management, so you can go and gather feedback as well as do surveys. It is, I'm going to say, a bit more on the basic side in terms of tools, so you can see right down to like the kind of look and feel. It does feel very basic. However, a fantastic tool at a free pricing plan. So you are able to go and use things like changelogs. You can set up your widgets. So I'm going to just go into a changelog that I've created. And again, not the best user interface. So it's a little bit clunky. But keep in mind, it is a free tool. So you can go and add a lot of the information you need in here. You can change this up in terms of the tool itself. They also do have an AI tool available, so you can go and let Olvi create the information for you. I wouldn't say that this does this exceptionally well. However, they do have this available within the tool, so I do like the fact that you've got this. They also have multi-language support. So I do like that you are able to use the multi-language settings within the tool, and you can then go and create or embed languages that you would like to have appear within the tool. So really great in terms of just like the basic get up and go functionalities for a free tool. You are able to manage things like issues straight from Jira or your PM tool, so like ClickUp or Jira, whichever one you're using, and add them straight to your roadmap. So again, a really nice feature within the tool itself. So a lot of integration points available, and just overall, yeah, really, really easy to use. I found it was not as user friendly as I was hoping, but it's also kind of what you expect from a free tool, if that makes sense. But overall, really fantastic. So I would say give it a whirl, have a look at a tool like this if you are looking at something free, something easy and lightweight, and something that might just get you going if you are a small organization that kind of just needs something a bit basic to get you up and running. Now, they do have analytics in terms of the dashboards. Overall, not bad in terms of what they actually surface. And you can get an idea of overall sentiment on things like your posts or releases, any reactions you've got, and just get some insights into the tool itself. You are able to customize things like views, so specific dates that you're wanting to have a look at, and just pull out that information into your dashboard. If you are looking at upgrading on the plans, the basic plan start around about $60 per month, and they go up to about $300 per month. But they do have a custom pricing plan available for enterprise organizations that do need a bit more of an in-depth feature set than the free options are able to offer. Now, overall, really great integrations as well. So keep that in mind that they do offer quite a lot at a free price point, but a little bit clunky overall. However, really not bad to use. Hopefully, this gives you some insight into some of the top tools that I like to use with different use cases. So, depending on your organization size and what you're needing from a tool, I'd recommend taking a look at these as my top 5 tools to use. Different price points, different features. Keep in mind what's going to be the best for you and your organization. Keep in mind things like organization size and specific features that you are looking for in a tool. Thanks so much for joining.